This is the last glory of the Mongolian cavalry against the Qing dynasty and Tsarist Russia at the same time. The reason is just a sentence from Emperor Kangxi. If you want to do business with me in the Qing dynasty, in a dilemma, the Tsar had to send a small army to pretend. But the arrival of the Russian army has attracted the attention of the Mongol generals stationed here. The Russian general quickly invited him to visit the fortress. It shows that the Russian army does not want to fight with Yungar. But that night, he was picked by the men of the governor of Siberia. Jasong sees the golden token of the Qing mistakenly believed that the Qing dynasty has allied with Tsarist Russia. So they launched a night attack on the Russian fortress in the middle of the night. We're not waiting for the defenders to respond. The entire patrol is down to one person. They disguised themselves as Russian troops and then forced the drummer to beat the door open. Unexpectedly, the drummer hit the early warning signal. The gates of the fortress are about to open. Only the soldiers guarding the city saw through the trajectory of Jasong. Infuriated, Jasong directly ordered the drummer to be placed on the spot as the government saw the plan fail. Fortunately, the Russians on the city walls fired in time to defend themselves. The Russian army is trying to figure out the motive. The next day, envoys were sent to negotiate. As a result, Jasong directly killed all the messengers, then threw the head in front of the Russian battalion as a declaration. The Russian army was stunned by this. It made them realize that a great war was coming. So he quickly sent someone to ask the governor. But now the treasury is empty. Can't handle the battle on the east and west fronts at all. People in the city had to organize donations to go to the defenders who had been waiting for weeks and were suffering. Just when the city was about to run out of supplies, the Russian supply team has finally arrived near the fortress. But they never expected that the supply team had been guarded by Jasong. Most of the soldiers who resisted were executed on the spot. The remaining civilians were captured. What makes them even more afraid is hundreds of thousands of Yungar troops, the sound of a horn resounding through the sky. The Russian generals who did not want war were lost. Dardan Khan withdrew his troops from the Qing dynasty. It is necessary to clarify the beginning and end of the conflict with Tsarist Russia. He denounced Zasson as a fool. If it is true that the life of the Qing dynasty allied with Tsarist Russia should be in the hands of the Tsar. So the Russian Central Guard was released 10,000. As long as the Russian defenders withdraw from the border, they will withdraw immediately. The Russian generals agreed without hesitation. Then they fired cannons on the fortress. The big man ordered the withdrawal with satisfaction. As a result, he was punished by the big man for provoking war without authorization. The Russian army in the fortress shouted in celebration. But their war is far from over, because Zasson was going to destroy the Russians in the fortress after the big man left.